So, today I'm going to take our conversation in a little bit of a different direction, but still on the theme of money, making more money, how to put more of your business profit into your personal pocket. But I wanted to focus on more of like a money mindset conversation because it's a really big, important piece of the puzzle when you're an entrepreneur, when you're running your own business. And in order to be profitable, it's something that you should be addressing head on. So, money is only a tool. It will take you wherever you wish, but it will not replace you as the driver. Ayn Rand. It's a great quote, isn't it? It's one of my favorites when we're talking about money mindset. So, while today we are taking a little bit of a different angle, talking about the money mindset, it is a huge topic. We can't tackle everything today, but I did want to open up and start the conversation so we can start looking at things a little bit differently. So, the first step in taking this journey in the money mindset is you have to make yourself go there, right? So most people don't like to think about money, but the reality is we have to. Trust me when I say you will thank me a year from now if you start making this an active part of your daily life. By not taking these little steps that we can easily do, you'll be at the same point you are now, except a whole year will have gone by and you don't want to be stuck in the same place. So let's start with the basics. I have an easy walkthrough activity that we are going to do together. But first, if you're new here, thanks so much for joining us. My name is Katrina. My business partner Cheryl and I run and own Empower to Profit, where we work with small business owners just like you to help put more of their business profits into their personal pocket. So let's go ahead. Let's get started on this money mindset journey. So let's just hop right in. I know everybody's busy. You're busy. I'm busy. So let's step into this money mindset conversation. And again, this is just an intro level, just kind of get the juices flowing, open up the conversation, and hopefully this is something that we continue to discuss here in our channel. So let's start very simply. I'm not going to ask you to get on the ground, meditate, clear your mind, anything like that. But what financial mindset exercises help you do is they help you become aware of your thoughts and simply redirecting them. We are the masters of our mind, right? We have control over our mind and to force them down to make decisions, to have certain thoughts, and act out certain actions that we want implemented in our life. So why do we think this will be different when we're talking about money, when we're thinking about money, when we're taking the action steps with our money? It isn't, right? But a lot of people feel uncomfortable when it comes to the topic of money. So when you practice mindfulness, because that's all that you're doing is when you're directing your thoughts with your money, when you're doing this practice, controlling your mind, you are actually changing your habits and you are creating new pathways in your brain and teaching your brain of what to think. Because when it comes to the science of the brain, your brain doesn't have the capability to decipher a dream versus reality, right? Your brain believes whatever you're telling it. So what you're telling your brain to do, and when you're acting out these mindfulness habits and practices, you're teaching and rewiring your brain and teaching it how to think and what to believe. So when we're creating these new pathways, the first thing that you need to do is to start from where you are. You have to know your numbers. You have to know how much money you have, right? Because if you don't have the base of the starting point, it's hard to kind of pick a direction or a goal of where you want to go in terms of teaching your brain where to go and then an action plan on how to get there. So to be a successful business owner, an entrepreneur, you not only need to have an uncanny amount of stubborn persistence, I know you all know that, but you also have to start from where you are and what you have. So I'm going to ask you, go ahead, open up the notes on your phone, on your computer, grab a sheet of paper, whatever you have handy. And what you're going to do is you're going to start by writing down your monthly revenue and your monthly expenses. And please don't forget to look at your personal bank accounts as well, because a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we have business transactions on our personal finances. And if you have QuickBooks Online, you can go ahead and take a look at your profit and loss report. This will be a 2-minute check if everything's caught up. But I want you to start by knowing how much money you have and what your expenses look like on a monthly basis. The second thing that we're going to do is I want you to figure out what you want, right? It sounds very simple, but have you actually ever walked through the process of sitting down and just isolating your brain and walking through the process of what do I really want? You tear down all the walls, open up the brain pathways, and really think about it. Walk through some scenarios. If you could have anything you wanted, what would that look like to you? So you don't need to think about what you can afford, what's realistic. Have a little fun. Let your brain go a little wild. Give yourself some time and explore your options. I mean, if you could do anything, and if money wasn't a roadblock, what would you want? Would you want to take home more money? Would you want to pay off some credit card debt? Would you want to hire an employee in your business? Would you want to save for a trip? It's your brain. This is your adventure. This is your future. You get to decide. The third thing that we're going to do, that I'm going to ask you to do in this practice, is create an action plan. So what you're doing by sitting, thinking about what you want your future to look like, what your goals are, if you could do anything at all, now you have at least the start of a goal of what you want. So those goals and dreams are great, but it doesn't move the needle forward unless you take an action. So 99% of financial changes happens when you either reduce your expenses or you increase your revenue, right? You have to do one of those two things in order to start steering the ship in a different direction or making an accelerated move. So the details of which one of those, whether you're on the revenue wagon or reducing the expense wagon, it requires more work to kind of work down that path. But this at least will give you a starting point. So let's say if you want to make $1 million this year, okay? Thinking big. $1 million, what do I need to do? How much do I need to make every month to make that a reality? Because it's super fun to say, I want to make $1 million this year. And then I just go on with my day. Do you think I'm ever going to actually get to that goal of $1 million by the end of the year? Absolutely not. Not unless somebody knocks on my door and happens to give me $1 million. And the probability of that happening is pretty slim. So awesome, I have my starting point. I want to make $1 million, but now I need to take the next step of what does that actually look like? How much do I need to make every month in order for me to actually make that $1 million? So how much then do I need to sell of a package, of an item, of a service, whatever it looks like for you in your industry and your business? How much do you need to sell in 1 month in order for you to make that journey, to get there in that 1 month period of time? So that's where you can kind of start laying out the work of like what that looks like. What does this all include? And while it might be intimidating, you're still like jumping that hurdle of making the step in the right direction. You're getting it all out on paper. So this is not a trick. It's not a gimmick anymore. You know exactly what you need to do in order to accomplish that goal. Okay, so the fourth thing, most importantly, something I feel to do as a default mode almost every day myself, is you have to honor the journey that you have already been on to get to this point. So many times we look back and we think, oh my goodness, I wasted so much time. I wasn't, being conscious of it. I wish I would have been with this different person. I wish I would have taken that other job. I wish I would have gone to a different school. I wish, regret. That doesn't help move the needle forward. And you need to cut that off as soon as you start making that journey down those thoughts. So things don't just happen by accident, or at least not very often. Sometimes there are accidents, but you may not be where you would like to be in every area of your life. For example, I know I would love my laundry pile to not exist, and my office renovation is certainly not on par for where I thought it would be in my head, but we are progressing. Every time you take a little bit of chunk out of a project, or you take a step in the right direction, or maybe it's even failing at something that you thought would be successful or productive, the fact is that you tried it and you failed forward. It's a no that you learned from. It's experience gained. It's part of your story. So while you may not see an immediate result, that decision did not give me $1,000,000 today, I haven't met my goal. The real experience is in the journey, and you need to be grateful for that journey and accept the journey that you're on and make decisions as well as you can, as much as possible, so that even if you're failing forward. So that's my little intro to the money mindset, and in terms of like how it works, things that you can do to help train your mind and make those forward decisions. So I hope that was a little bit helpful. Are you a money mindset person? As an entrepreneur, how do you feel about money mindset? This is a journey that I'm currently on, and I would love to hear about your input and your experiences. If you have any advice, I would love to hear about it. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and as always, cheers to profit.